to Against the Grain, episode 4. We're talking about business, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Jacob, welcome to Against the Grain.
Thank you. Welcome, Josh.
Today we're talking a little bit about business, and we're kind of jumping into this, series or whatever you want to call it. So I guess kicking it off, you obviously are a small business owner. What does that look like for you, being a small business owner? What does your day-to-day life look like? Is it the same? Is it different? Do you get to take vacations all the time? Do you make a ton of money? What does it look like?
Well, that's the funny thing is a lot of people, they think small business owners, or they think business owners in general, they automatically assume they're going to be making a lot of money a lot of times, and they think they're going to have a lot of time off. They think they're going to have more time to themselves. And the unfortunate thing is it's not just the people on the outside. A lot of times it's your own employees. And the reality of it is if you go day to day with us, I mean, there's days where we're up at 7 doing stuff and we're out till 8, 9 o'clock at night. And there's days that we don't start till 9. You know what I mean? It's not a consistent day. And there's days that we are out in the field working. And there's days we're in the office doing paperwork all day. There's days that we're low on money and we're cutting our own pay. There's days that we're just like hoping we can make it to the next month and we're worried about the next month. I mean, there's always so many different variables in a small business, especially a startup, because you just never know what it's going to look like that next month. And you're always trying to push that next month, but you're always like, hey, like it's a proven concept for however long you've been in business. It's a proven concept. It's been a proven concept for 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years. Like, it's not like your GM where you're a proven concept over 50, 70, 80 years. You know what I mean? You're a proven concept for what? 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that is always changing, and there's variables as you grow. You're constantly putting new SOPs in place and you're constantly evaluating new processes. So there's always so much work to be done in an early startup phase.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it goes unseen too. You know, like you said, you buy, whether it be people that see you on the internet or your own employees or your customers, they think, oh, you're the owner, but it's like, you didn't see me up at 4:30 yesterday morning eating breakfast, sitting in front of my computer, checking, emails and checking our schedule and doing things like that. Because we have a schedule where we start at maybe sometimes 7 or whatever, but we can both be 100% and say, hey, we start a lot of times 4 or 5 in the morning working on stuff that's work related. And I'm doing it also at 8, 9 o'clock at night. So I was in bed last night running numbers on my phone. So, that's why I think a lot of that stuff goes unseen, because obviously like everybody has different expectations of what they think a business owner should be doing. And like you said, you kind of wear a lot of hats. And I've heard from, different people in the business space and things like that, you have to just become an expert and you have to hire experts in their fields. And that's great. I love hiring experts for marketing. I love hiring experts for office management and dispatch and all these things. But in the beginning, you can't do that.
No, you don't have enough money. It's not feasible.
No, exactly. Like, it sounds great on paper. Like, you listen to all these business gurus. Like, well, you got to hire someone for that. You got to hire someone for that. Well, what does that take to hire someone? It costs money. And you have to have more revenue in order to hire people for those roles. So in the interim, what do? You fill those gaps. You have to. So I think that's like a big thing with like obviously run a business, like you said, like it's just unseen things. But I think there's a lot of good. I think the bad side of things that people don't see is, a lot of business owners, they struggle with stress, anxiety, depression, just because of the fact that, dude, running a business is hard. It's hard as shit. And like you said, there's times where, we've even been in a pinch where we're like, hey, we want to keep a little more capital in our bank because we know we have another payroll run coming up in 2 weeks and we don't know how our schedule is going to look. It's a day-to-day thing. So you know what? We're going to cut our pay in half this week. And it's like, we don't share that with everybody constantly, but dude, it's a reality of growing a small business. And sometimes you have to go through those hard times in order to get to the promised land, basically.
Well, if you're not willing to, then you're going to drive your business into the ground a lot of times. Like, you have to be willing to sacrifice your own livelihood, your own pay a little bit every once in a while. Like, yeah. I'm not saying you can't live, but you have to be willing to sacrifice if you're a business owner, especially in the early stages.
Well, and they say, so like, I think statistically, about 20% of small businesses fail in the first year. 50% fail in the first 5 years. And they say it's because of cash flow. That's the biggest issue that all small businesses deal with, is cash flow issues. But if you're just putting yourself first as a business owner and paying yourself, and taking from your business, then you're bleeding your business so much that your business can't grow. Your business is going to have cash flow issues. They're going to have issues paying bills and paying employees and things like that because you're bleeding the business dry with your own paycheck.
Well, I think also just getting started out on the wrong foot too. Because obviously, like, we can talk about a service and repair company. Service and repair company, you can pretty much start with no money. You can start with some credit cards and a vehicle loan payment, and that's it. However, like, people try to do the same thing with restaurants with like no money. They have no money and they're trying to start a restaurant and they're just trying to piece things together, and then they wonder why it fails. Well, it fails because you have a shitty location. Your ambiance inside sucks. Your staff sucks. Your food sucks. Like nothing about it's good because you can't afford to buy the right stuff or get the right people. You know what I mean? So obviously every business is different, but that's also, I think, a big misconception online is a lot of people are like, well, they did it with no money. They started with no money. It's like, yeah, but what was their business that they started with their money? Were they doing drop shipping? You know what I mean? Like, did they do t-shirts and they had a bunch of pre-orders? Like, of course they started with no money. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference, dude.
Well, I think it's this misconception online. I still haven't been able to figure it out, but all these freaking idiots, bro, on social media, open an LLC. I'll teach you how to get rich quick. Open an LLC and then get a small business loan for $250,000. Dude, that's not how it works. You're not getting a loan for at least 2 years. And you have to show a good P&L, good profit and loss. Like, you have to show that you're a profitable company to get an SBA loan.
Yeah, no one's just handing you loans, even for veterans, small business loans. Like, you're not just getting a loan, bro.
Yeah. Dude,
day one.
I think 9% of small businesses, I think the statistics changed. It used to be like 6. Now it's 9% of small businesses will surpass $1 million in revenue. And obviously because of inflation and things like that. But even if you do $1 million in your first year, which we did $1 million. No one's going to give us money. No one will lend us money. We have to pull out personal lines of credit on everything.
The only way you can really do it, honestly, and this is just for the audience that they really want to try this or really want to kind of move their business forward and they don't want to wait, is, dude, investors. That's the only way you'll get money now, not waiting for a loan. Yeah. That's the biggest way. Just get investors. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, now you're giving up your company because you're a patient. But, I mean, I'd rather wait 2 years and grow it a little bit slower and hold on to more percentage of my company because I know what we could sell it for one day.
And it's all relative when you say, like, growth, because I was looking at just, like, statistics in kind of like preparation for this podcast, and they say 10% of small businesses experience rapid growth. And they consider rapid growth 20 to 50% of year over year, like, increase in revenue, or I say, and 10 to 20% in employee growth annually. And dude, we are far past rapid growth. Like, talk about rapid growth. I mean, we had 8 employees, including ourselves, in the first year. You know, right now it's February and we're on track to do 150% of our revenue that we did last year. It's like we're far past the rapid growth stage, but everybody has different metrics.
Well, and it's all super relative to what business you're opening too.
Absolutely.
Obviously. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, because I think, like, let's say a restaurant, like you mentioned, right? A restaurant, like, at some point, you're going to have some sort of market cap. Yeah, you could get reservations and seats filled 7 days a week. However, you're limited to that location.
Yeah.
And if you're doing, like we do, service repair work, yeah, okay, let's say.
Yeah, but you're not, though. That's the thing. I mean, you are limited. I know what you're saying. Like, you're limited to that location. Unless you open another location, you're going to not bring more patrons in. However, a lot of business owners think that way, and they think, well, I can't grow because of that. It's like, dude, have you ever offered deals? Hey, appetizers half off on Tuesdays. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, well, have you tried to bring more people in? Have you tried to bring more revenue by, like, essentially upselling even at a restaurant? Hey, you can get you buy one, get one half off on appetizers tonight. Now they're going to buy 2. You know what I mean?
Like, you could do that, but even if you still fill every seat in the restaurant 7 days a week, at some point there's going to be a cap because of that location's capacity.
No, I agree. I'm just saying that there's a lot of small business owners out there that don't have any kind of creative way to make more money.
Well, absolutely. But that's a nice thing if you do, like, service repair work, or you do, like, e-commerce. You do things that aren't limited to, like, let's say a specific location. Dude, your growth could be exponential as fast as you want it to be. You have to obviously be wise, and you have to, I would say, concentrate. Like, for us, I think it's smart to concentrate in a small, condensed area to try to grow our company. Because why would I have our guys drive 2 hours to a call when I can drive 15 minutes?
And you're paying them for the, like, drive time and like that.
So you concentrate on that area. But then once you kind of cap out that area, a super easy way to then grow, like we did, we opened another location. We opened another Google business page. We got a small office space, opened a second location, and boom. Dude, calls, that's a majority of our calls now are in, like Franklin, Tennessee. And then, so from there, where we go to Nashville. Like, you just start opening locations and you basically expand territory, and you can exponentially grow your company like that too.
Yeah. And then the sad thing too, aside from growing, I've been talking just about a small business in general. The sad thing is the worst enemy to other small businesses is probably other small businesses.
Yeah.
Because how often do we service a small business and essentially they don't want to pay our price, they don't want to pay this because they know how much it costs to run a business, but they're running some rinky-dink shop that doesn't make any money.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Every industry is different. You can be running, let's say, a coffee shop, right? And you do $5 coffees. So you're selling hot water and coffee beans. And I'm not saying it's not expensive. There's machines that are expensive. There's locations that are expensive. There's marketing, employees, all that stuff adds up. And I'm not saying it's not expensive. However, when a plumber walks into your home and they're like, yeah, it's $3,000, and you're absolutely just blown away because they're going to be working for 3 hours. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand that this guy had to drive to your house. We have insurance on the vehicle.
Spending $1,000 on material.
$1,000 in material. He has tens of thousands of dollars in equipment. Like it just, the industries are so different, and that's the one problem. I think another problem with small businesses, though, and why they're their own worst enemies to other small businesses, is small businesses that try to take from other small businesses. And that's a big mistake that even we made. I think people in their first few years in business, they make mistakes doing deals with other small businesses, thinking they have their best interest in mind, and they're just trying to increase revenue. They're burning you on a deal because they may not know, they may firmly believe that it's going to work out good for you. But at the end of the day, like, you make these decisions like we did, and we lost money, dude. We've lost money numerous times on dumb things that we've done that we shouldn't have done.
That we didn't need.
Bought things we didn't need, paid people we didn't need. And we learned our lesson, dude. And like, we've obviously scaled it back a lot because of the hard lessons we learned. But I think that's a big thing with small businesses is you have to be willing to learn from your mistakes.
You also have to be willing to tell people no. Like, that's a big thing, because you go to networking events and people are super nice to you and they're like, oh man, they're super friendly. I want to work with them. Oh man, they have got, like you said, they got my best interest in mind. Dude, if it doesn't make sense for your business, it doesn't make sense. Like, hey man, no hard feelings. I really like you as a person, but we can't do business together because it's going to cost me way more money and it's not going to help me how you think it's going to help me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, everyone's still trying to make a sell. Everything in life is sales. Yeah. Everything. And that person's still trying to sell you. I don't care how nice they are to you. They're still trying to sell you on something.
Yeah.
Everything, bro.
Well, I think that's like another bad that we talk about with business. But with that is, I think you have to be aware of the bad that comes with other small businesses and other people trying to sell you shit that you don't need. But with that, learn from that. Because I think the problem with, I think a lot of businesses, and this is my own opinion, but they say cash flow is an issue. I believe that cash flow is an issue, but I think another issue is cash flow becomes an issue if you spend your money unwisely. And if you continually spend money unwisely, yeah, you're going to crash and burn. But if you're like, you know what, that was a bad mistake, we fucked up. You know what, we're not going to do that again. Next time this comes around, we're just going to say no. We're going to do this different. And we're going to save that money for something that's more important to grow our business. That's how you get better. Because, I mean, who teaches anyone how to grow a business? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's somebody that can actually sit down. I'm not saying there's not coaching out there, but it's really hard for someone to get in and just be like, I'm just going to coach you on how to run a business and grow your business specifically. Even coaching, it's like, dude, you can coach somebody, but you have to be in it every day. You have to be in it as a business owner every day. That other person's not going to grow your business. You have to do it.
You still have to be willing to do the work every day, and you still have to know your business better than anybody else.
Yep.
Because nobody else is going to grow your business for you.
Yeah.
Nobody else cares to grow your business for you. Mm-hmm. It's just true.
Well, and that's why. So there's that, but then you have to see the writing on the wall of like, why is it important? And I think it's the good that comes with growing a business, right? Like, there's a lot of good, and it can come with, obviously, I don't think it comes right away. I think the good of growing a business and having your own business, like, don't get me wrong, this is the best decision I've ever made to open a business. And it's obviously, I think having a good business partner is extremely important. But I think that the flexibility of your schedule, taking time off when you want to, unlimited potential for money that you make, like, those kind of things, they don't just happen. Like, those are long-term. Like, you have to be able to basically sit and wait and be patient in the shitty part of growing a business to get to that part where it is like we say, like, the promised land, like where you're there and you're making money and you're taking time off and your family's living a better life and all these things.
Well, that's all people see. That's the problem with social media too, is that's all people see is that side of it. They only see the end. They don't care about you when you're, when you're growing and when you're in the ditch and it's really hard. And like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's trying to see what you're doing. The only people, maybe some people that are just trying to hate on you. But other than that, nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares until you really make it.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing. As a person, if you are growing a business, you have to be able to be willing to, one, just buckle down and see it yourself. And I think having people in your corner is important. I think having, if you're married, your spouse not being on board, I think is extremely important. I don't think if your spouse isn't on board, you're probably not going to make it. If you have a business partner, you and your business partner need to be aligned with your goals and what you're looking for. Because like for us, we're aligned in our goals that we're willing to take pay cuts sometimes. We're willing to not grow our personal take-home pay for a while. We're willing to pour all that money back into the business because we know that the potential is that there's home services companies today they're selling for anywhere between $50 to $150 million within their first 5 to 10 years. And that's not even like a extreme rarity. It's like happening time and time again in our industry. But how do you get to that point? You got to be willing to put money back in. You got to be willing to be selfless for the first few years.
Yeah, you can't just take.
You can't. You have to be willing to say, you know what, I'm going to take a lower paycheck. I'm going to make, X amount of dollars and only take, you can't take, and that's what we said, you cannot take from your business what your business needs to grow.
Well, I think another people, like, obviously that's the big thing, capital, right, is why businesses burn. But another big reason businesses burn is because as people get down the road in a business, a lot of times in the beginning, they're super motivated. They want to do really well. They want to take care of their customers. And as customers piss them off more, as they get, more issues and more money problems, they start just being like, you know what, screw this. They have a customer that gives them a problem. They're not trying to resolve it. They're saying, you know what, screw you, bro. You can walk out the door. And I'm not saying there's never a time for that, because sometimes you just can't do business with some people.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, to save yourself that bad review on Google, eat the $50, bro.
Yeah.
Eat the $100. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people just aren't willing to do that the farther they get into their business. And that's why they start getting worse and worse and worse, because they get so fed up, because it is a mental state, Their mental state's so fed up. That's in any job. People get, very jaded, and people get, disgruntled and stuff. Business owners get the same way. They get the same way towards their employees and towards their customers. They get super disgruntled, and they're just like, screw this, and it drives their business into the ground.
Well, I think that's what like we talk about, like with that, like having a good business partner, because I've had plenty of days, and I think we can both like attest to this, that like I've had plenty of days where I'm like, dude, I'm over this. This sucks. Like, let's just go back to being me and you. We'll make more money, because we made more money when it was just us. Like, personally, we made more money. Our business didn't make anywhere near what we're making now. But personally, we made more because we didn't have as much overhead. But obviously, the growth wasn't going to happen. But there's plenty of days where I've been, dude, screw this. This sucks, man. Like, we're doing all this anyways. Why don't we just do it ourselves? Like, why are we doing all this for what? Mm-hmm. But then you have a good business partner that's like, hey, bro, we're doing it for a reason, and you see the growth, you see the potential, you see where we're going. Like, it's just a phase.
Yeah.
But I think everybody gets in those phases, and like you said, it's a mental state. But if you have either two business owners that are both in that mental state, or you have a solo business owner where he doesn't have any business partners, and you can't get yourself out of that rut, dude, you're gonna crash and burn.
Yep, absolutely.
Because you need someone to be able to pick you up, and then you got to do the same for your business partner when times get tough. Because times will get tough.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a lot of those good and bad things with business, but dude, the good is that if you buckle down and you do it like there's no tomorrow, you'll grow your company, you'll increase revenue, you'll have good margins, and and obviously you have to take into account the industry you're in. Like, I didn't realize this, but I saw this morning that restaurants have typically most restaurants have less than a 5% profit margin, which is nuts, dude.
Yeah.
There's no cushion. There's no wiggle room for bad times.
Yep.
That's why restaurants have such a high failure rate.
Well, and dude, it's funny because I was looking at a restaurant recently that's local here, and they have good reviews. They're brand new, but they also have some bad reviews. And restaurants is a hard industry, but it just kind of makes you realize, like, dude, customer service is everything, bro. Because a lot of these reviews, like, they weren't like super negative, but the owner gets so offended when people are saying anything negative. And that's the big thing, too, when you're a small business owner. Dude, don't take everything so personal, dude. Like, people are leaving a bad review. It sucks. Our first bad review sucked. We were super pissed about it. But it is what it is, man. You're going to get bad reviews. Mm-hmm. But that's part of, like, kind of pulling your business owner back or your other business partner back, too, and be like, dude, it happens, bro. Because you get so caught up because it's your business. It's your small business. Dude, customer service is imperative, but I'm not saying you can't take a stand when a customer is being ridiculous. However, a lot of times you just got to fall on your sword too. And that's something that you have to be aligned with your business partner too. Because one business partner can't be off the rails going off on customers. Every customer leaves a bad review when the other customer or the other business owner is trying to reel that person back.
Well, I think it's exactly that balance, because there are customers out there, like, there are bad customers.
There's bad customers.
And the idea that the customer is always right is a complete lie. That is a freaking absolute lie from hell, dude. The customer is not always right. Mm-hmm. But the customer that's not always right usually will make themselves look like that online. When they write a bad review, they look like a complete buffoon usually. And that's your chance as a business owner to say, hey, this is the services we do offer. I'm sorry you felt that way. However, this is what really happened. And I'm sorry, you felt that way about our business. However, these are the standards we hold. This is why we do business this way. If you have any questions, please contact me directly. Leave your phone number, whatever. But there's a very easy way to respond to bad reviews and to bad customers without, like you said, going off the rails and, going off on them.
Yeah, because we probably maybe have 3 bad reviews, maybe, and none of them are valid. And they just aren't.
They're all about price. Free estimates, actually.
Free estimates.
So we came out for free.
And one of them is because we came out on a Sunday. We advised them on the phone because we'd have to call someone in from home that's sitting there with their family that it'd be $100 to come out.
Pay them overtime.
We have to pay them overtime, and they have to leave their family that day to go work for you. And they have to drive our company vehicle there.
Yeah.
And so we can't just come out and give a free estimate.
Yeah.
So that one, they just didn't like the estimate when we got there, and we still charged them $100. They were upset about that. But you're always gonna have people like that, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is, dude. But
that's your chance. Like that one, that was our chance to expose all that. Like, hey, we told you ahead of time. You asked us twice what the price would be. We told you it'd be $100 to come out, and we explained why. And we put everything in the review. We have guys that don't work Sundays. They leave their families to come with you. They get paid overtime because of the hours that they're working, like whatever. And then if I was another customer and I see all these awesome reviews, I see over 100 5-star reviews, and I see this one person that's pissed about paying $100 because they agreed to it before they even came out, dude, it's almost invalid.
Well, and yeah, you're going to get that. Like, there's another customer that we had that we had went out to his house for absolutely free, did a small inspection. We didn't charge him for it. Our technician wrote the report up, small report, took some pictures, sent it over to him for free, got restoration for this guy, absolutely free. Didn't charge him a dime.
It took like 2 hours of our technician's time with drive and service.
Granted, that's on our side. Like, we need to talk to that technician about charging for stuff like that. Like, people need to charge for that. However, we didn't charge him for that. Our technician goes back a second time, and the guy wants a garbage disposal. Again, a free estimate. The guy agrees to the free estimate. While he's getting the service done, he realizes that a garbage disposal is $150. So he didn't like the overall price because he's like, it's X amount for labor. It's like, no, it's not X amount for labor. That's everything that we pay for. Overhead,
bills,
that's
what people try to say in the trades. Like, oh, it's just labor. It's not just labor, dude.
Yeah. Well, and then after that, he sent us an email saying he was sick to his stomach that he paid that much. And I called him and I said, look, sir, we were at your house 2 weeks ago for absolutely free for 2 hours. And we did a report for absolutely free. We didn't even charge you a dime. Second time we came out, we gave you a free estimate that you agreed to. And at the end of the day, you're not paying for the garbage disposal. You're paying for the service. That's what you're paying for. When you go get your car worked on, when you go get an oil change, are you paying for the oil change or the oil? Because the oil's cheap as shit. You can go to Walmart and buy your own oil.
Dude, a freaking car wash now, dude. A hand car wash, dude, you're easily paying $50 to $100.
You're paying for a service.
How much is this fucking soap and towels?
You're paying for a service.
Paying for the service.
And that's the thing that everyone listening to this podcast has to realize. You're always going to have customers like that. You're always going to. But you still have to take a stand. Don't just take it on the chin completely and be like, oh, I'm so sorry we charged you that much. No. I explained to him, well, sir, look, we have a lot of overhead. There's a lot. It costs a lot of money to run a business. Our technicians are also, this is a career job for them because they're plumbers. It's a professional trade. They have benefits. They have medical. They have retirement. They get paid fair wages. Like, it costs a lot more than you think to run a business, especially with professional tradesmen. And I'm not saying every business is the same. However, you can articulate that to your customer if they really are that beat up over price. Because we're not ripping anybody.
No.
I know we're not. You know what I mean? That's not what we do. We charge appropriately for what we do.
Yeah. Well, we also charge appropriately because at the end of the day, yes, our customers are important. But it would be wrong of us as a business owner to take care of customers and let our technicians burn. Because guess what? They deserve to have a life too. They deserve to be able to put money in savings. They deserve to be able to buy a house. They deserve to be able to take family vacations. They deserve all those things. And how can I pay them that if I don't charge you appropriately?
Yeah, don't save your customer by burning your employees. That is the worst way you can operate a business. That's a great way to not grow your business.
Yeah. And I think that's I kind of like come into where we talk about business growth and things like that. I think the number one way to grow your business, I think the number one way is take care of your employees. Yeah. Because if it's just you and your business partner, or just you as a business owner, just like, I'm going to do everything I can to grow my business. Cool, man. You're probably not going to make it. But if you have 10 people behind you, 20 people behind you, 30 people behind you that are like, this is the best place ever. I want to make this place continues to grow so I can have a long career here. Dude, that's how you make it.
Yep.
That's how NextGen made it.
Yep.
They made it by making everybody incentivized. Everybody was happy to work there. Everybody's making money. And guess what? Exploded to 150 million in 7 years.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
Yep. You gotta take care of your employees, bro.
Take care of your employees.
Stop trying to take care of your customer's pocketbook and, actually take care of your employee.
I think that's the biggest thing, dude. Charge appropriately, scale, grow your business. There's going to be some hard ass times, but you keep pushing, you'll make it. Take care of people, and sky's the limit. Mm-hmm. Jay, I think that's a good place to end it. Guys, join us next time for Against the Grain, episode 5. We'll be out back in 2 weeks. See you then.